Hey, you're now listening or watching the Halos in the Infield podcast with your hosts Todd Fox and Fernando the Lone Star Halo, brought to you in part by Noble L Works, just outside of Anaheim Stadium and the Pond, or the Honda Center, where you can get drink specials just by mentioning Halos in the Infield. Also brought to you in part by 714 Tickets. 714 Tickets. 714 Tickets is a place to go to get 10% off of any ticket purchase just by also mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield. Now enjoy the show. Hey, we need the intro here first.
Live every night on the Halos in the Infield Baseball Network.
Welcome to the Halos in the Infield post-game podcast with Todd Fox, sponsored by Noble Ale Works Brewery, as well as 714 Tickets. This is your nightly destination for all things Los Angeles Angels. Come join Todd as he recaps every thrilling and disappointing moment from tonight's game, win or lose. Get ready for insightful analysis, fan reactions, and Todd's engaging commentary. Plus, fans can call in live to the Halo Hotline to have their voices and opinions heard as well.
It's the Halo Hotline.
Stay tuned in for your chance to win free Halos merchandise with our weekly trivia.
It's all about the game.
It's time to dive into the heart of Angels baseball with Todd Fox on the Halos in the Infield post-game podcast.
There's a drive from Mike Trout. See you later. That is long gone.
It's the Todd Fox Post-Game Podcast with your host, Todd Fox.
Hey, welcome into another episode of Halos in the Infield, the post-game podcast show on a Sunday afternoon as the Angels lose a heartbreaker. They were bombed 12-2 tonight, or this afternoon, at home in front of a pretty good crowd for a Sunday day game. But it is the first game, series of the season, and you had a lot more Boston fans there because tickets were a little bit harder for them to get Friday and Saturday, and those cheapskate fake chowder heads came into Sunday's game with a cheaper ticket, so they bought up a lot of them, and there was a lot of Boston Red Sox fans there at the stadium. But all in all, for the first three games, we'll go over that in the podcast that we're going to do tonight, covering the Angels and the Red Sox series and looking ahead to the Tampa series. Look for that to be dropping tomorrow on this YouTube channel. Also on wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it be Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can listen to the audio version, not just the video version as well that we have here on YouTube. So it's up to you. But we would love the support. 5-star review always helps. And again, check us out. Check out 714 Tickets. Get that 10% discount thanks to HITI in the Apply Now code at any ticket you want as well. Gets you 10% off just by using Halos in the Infield in the Apply Now code at checkout, and get tickets for anything, no matter what you like, no matter what you want, where you want to go, even concert tickets. Go to 714 Tickets to do that. So with that being said, the Angels lose a game here today, lose the series to Boston 2 out of 3. What we've talked about in years past is you want to win your series. If you're able to win 80% or 75% of your series during the season, whether you split a 4-game series, win 2 out of 3, you don't have to win every game. You don't have to go on a 10-game winning streak. The law of averages state that you will make the postseason as long as you do that. If you lose series over and over, you don't have to exactly be on a losing streak of like 18 or whatever many we had before Mohawk got fired, Smoking Joe. You don't have to be on a long losing streak like that not to make the playoffs. All you have to do is consecutively lose series, like lose 2 out of 3 here, lose 3 out of 4 here, and so on, and you will not make the playoffs. The law of averages state that you won't. So with that being said, even as for a mediocre team, if you want to call the Angels a mediocre team, if you want to say they're going to struggle rebuilding, whatever you want to label them, you want to win these series to stay relevant. And again, we're only 9 games into the season and they're 5-4, and that's still okay. And a lot of us are taking that, and I'm taking that as well. But you don't like to see games like this. There's some substance in the last 2 games where a little alarm bells are going off for me. I like the consistency of Ron Washington running out the lineup every day, but to me, it's clear to see with, that, and Rob on the Robert, who's going to be on our podcast for tomorrow's show that we're going to record later on. he came up with the thing about Adele. Adele doesn't get enough or a fair shake for the Angels, in my opinion, or his opinion was first, but thinking about the Joe Adele thing, which he does not get enough plate appearances, and he hasn't gotten them this year. We've always dicked with him, bringing him up or down, wasting all his options, bringing him up just to sit him after he's tearing it up in Salt Lake. So I feel really bad for Joe Adele. And to ask him to come up in the late stages of a game in the hot sun in the late, just to get one at bat, it's not going to be beneficial to his growth as an athlete, as a player. And Renifo, the same thing. I mean, this is a guy who's been consistent when he's healthy. He's healthy right now. Why isn't he playing? I'd much rather see him play than stupid-ass Rendon. But again, we go with Rendon in the lineup, and those are my only question marks. Between, I don't mind not seeing dude out there because Thaiss sucks. I'd rather see Ohapi. Now, I'd rather see Ohapi, hit behind Trout or in front of Trout. I don't like again, he started off kind of hot, but I still think in pressure situations with runners in scoring position, I still don't trust Taylor Ward. And Brandon Drury's off to a very slow start, as he's accustomed to. If you do your homework on Brandon Drury, he has a Tim Salmon-like April or worse. He always gets off to bad starts. And this year's none different. The guy who's kind of shocking me right now is Shonawell. Shonawell is just off to a horrendous start right now. And, got like Moniak finally got his first hit, but he's off to a slow start. So the offense has been struggling here in April. Pitching's been a little bit better, except for, again, you've had a couple games where the bullpen's been bad. Suarez has been pitching bad. And we'll talk about Suarez too, because, again, he sucked. Then he also had the other pitcher who sucked. So we're going to get into that. The Angels took the loss. In this game, they had 3 innings. And here's the tell of the tape for me when it comes down to what happened in this game, why the Angels lost. I think a big part of it is when you have a pitcher like Tanner Houck out there, who's a decent pitcher and can give you innings, and when he's on, you have to attack these guys and score runs and put doubt in his head and not let him settle into a groove. Like most good pitchers, above average pitchers, you can't let them be comfortable on the mound. You have to attack and scratch across the run or two. And I thought the tell of the tape was they had those first 3 innings with an opportunity, especially the third inning when you had second and third and 1 out. Terrible at bat again by Taylor Ward, and even worse at bat by Brandon Drury, being too aggressive, straight ground ball to the second. You need to put the ball in play. You need to at least get 1 run right there to fire back after Boston just hit 3 moonshots off of you. And again, Silseth had a game like Canning where he got into an inning where, for whatever reason, they were calling fastballs or split fingers or just pitches up if it wasn't his control. The other day it was Canning was just throwing straight fastballs, no movement. This one, I take that back. It was just him being too high up in the zone, the ball flying out on a Sunday afternoon, and bam, bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. It's 3-0 Boston. But again, you had opportunities in the first inning. You had opportunities in the second inning. You had opportunities in the third inning. Tanner's giving you an opportunity to put a chink in that armor and make him have some doubt. But after that, no. After that, it was, let me shut you down. And Houck began to pitch like an ace. And so he wound up pitching 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, 4 hits allowed, 2 walks. So he did give the Angels opportunity. And the Red Sox lineup, if you look at it, they played Bash Brothers offense this entire series other than last night. And for the most part, their hitters aren't all that, they're not really getting hits. They're getting a lot of home runs so far through the first 10 games of their season as they improved to 7-3. But the Angels, if you look at their lineup right now, Anthony Rendon went 1 for 5 today. He's batting .094. Shonawell's .074. So you ask yourself, why is Trout the king of solo home runs right now? He is Han Solo times 4 now. 4 home runs, 4 RBIs. He's all or nothing. We don't see anything on a line. When he does make contact, it's a fly ball routine, pop out to the right side, or a fly ball routine to center field or left field. There's no straight line swinging, ripping one down the line, trying to go the other way, get a double, hit the gap, get one through the third base side between the shortstop and third base. There's none of that by Mike Trout. Until he gets going, we're just going to see these solo home runs, these all or nothing. He's only batting 250, 1 for 2, had a home run and a walk. And then you look at Taylor Ward, 1 for 4, but when it counted, he went 0 for 1. He had a strikeout. Brandon Drury's batting 148. He had 2 walks, but he also had 2 outs, one with, again, runners in scoring position. Miguel Sano went 1 for 4 on a questionable one. I thought that was almost an error as well, but they gave him a hit out of it. He had 2 strikeouts. Logan O'Hoppe went 1 for 3 and a walk. Theis came in with an off-the-bench single. Moniak went 1 for 3 and a strikeout. Joe Adell popped out, and he had Zach Neto again disappearing 0 for 3. Again, in spring training, he was making more flathead, barrel-to-ball contact, looking really good. But it seems like since the season started, Neto has that uppercut swing, which made him look terrible in the second half of last season off of that injury. He's getting into some bad mechanics again, so I hope they could straighten him out. Louis Renifo came off the bench and got a hit. So you had 2 of the 8 hits that they got were pinch hit late. Again, they scored 2 runs in garbage time. It didn't really matter. Where this game was lost was after Silseth departed in the 6th inning, and then it wound up being Cisnero going only a third of an inning, allowing 3 runs on 2 hits, all 3 earned. His ERA is up to 16 right now. Then Suarez came in and was like, listen, I've got plenty of petrol to put on that fire. He went 3 1/3, 5 earned runs on 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and he allowed a home run in this one. Then Zuniga went no innings. Sano had to bail him out because Zuniga threw 18 pitches and gave up a few hits, including and getting charged with a run. So you just had a tough game for the Angels pitching wise, and this is a game where you want to beat the Chowderheads, but they couldn't do it. The Angels left 9 more guys on base. They left about 10, I think, on the other night, winning 2-1. So you think about it, in this series, the Red Sox win 8-6. In the opener, you had back and forth game. The offense kind of fell off after those Soriano runs were given up late in the game. Then last night, had it not been for an error by Devers, I don't know what the hell he was thinking, backpedaling on a slow chopper instead of charging it. The Angels get a win out of that one. Otherwise, they're swept. Otherwise, the Angels probably lose that game 1-0 last night. Instead, they win to take 1 out of the 3. But today, the Red Sox pounded them into oblivion. And again, I have to agree with the commentators. If the Angels score a run or so, it changes the complexion of that first 4 frames of the game and possibly the whole game. But again, there's some question marks. I love Ron Washington and what he's been doing, but I want to see more Adele out there. And it might not be the most popular take, but I do want to see more Adele and more Renifo. I can do without Dude. I really don't need to see him in the lineup unless you're going to play O'Hoppe at DH maybe. Then you could play Dude at the same time. But for the most part, man, I need to see Neto get his head out of his ass. I need to see Shonawell make more solid contact because Trout's going to be king of the Han Solo if Shonawell and Rendon continue to bat under 100. So I know we're only 9 games in, but you can't be batting under 100 9 games in. And that's unfortunately what our number 1 and 2 guys are doing. And I know you want to keep a consistent lineup. I appreciate that, Ron Washington, but as we move forward, if it's another 5 to 10 games and these guys are still batting under 150, you got to make a change. You got to move some guys around in this lineup. Then it's okay. But we know you're not like Numbnuts Nevin, who just wants to make a change, not because it makes sense, but because the nerds upstairs maybe said it. You just want to make a change to make a change. But I know Ron Washington wants a good, solid lineup. But if guys like Drury and Ward are going to have to back up Trout, I get Ward maybe sticking in the 4th, even though I'm not happy with him being a 4. I still would like to see O'Hoppe right there or Drury, but Drury needs to get hot first, so you might move him down or you might move him up to try to fire him up. Sometimes you got to make a change. Not every game, but just mix it up a little bit. And I know I'm asking for too much because it sounds like we were harping so much on too many lineup changes. But again, if it's you can't be beating the same dead horse every freaking day. And I think that dead horse is Anthony Rendon. That dude's been dead to us since he signed with us. again, I think this is the last call for him. I really would love the Angels to step up, and I know they got rid of Pujols that last season. I think you need to take a real big L right here, Artie, and I know you don't like to do that, but I think you do need to take a fat L and swallow the rest of that contract. Just release his ass, dude. I mean, listen, if you're telling me right now Miguel Sano, who hasn't homered in 2 years, who lost over 50 pounds, who was out of the league for 2 years, playing winter ball or Dominican ball, and he's gonna, he's better than your third baseman that you're paying $38 million. You're barely giving a contract to a Miguel Sano, and he's better. Well, then take it. Take it and for what it is. Renifo's better than Rendon. We can go down the list of how many players are far better. Zach Neto at his worst right now and at the end of last year is better than Anthony Rendon's best the last 2 years. Let's just face the facts. Face the facts, eat the contract, and let's move on. And then the only other piece of shit that will be left in this organization will be Artie Moreno. Because right now we have two big, massive turds in that toilet bowl of an organization that we like to root for, and that is Artie Moreno and Anthony Rendon. If we could at least flush one of them, that'll make it a little bit more tolerable. Maybe we could spray some Febreze around the stadium to get rid of the stench that is Artie Moreno. So with that being said, the Angels take the loss once again. Tanner Houck moves to 2-0. Silseth, a very disappointing 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. You're going to be like, hey, those aren't bad numbers. And in hindsight, it's not. In hindsight, Silseth left after 5 innings, allowing just the 3 solo home runs. You would think 3 runs is not a lot for a team to come back from. A, you're correct. But B, this is the Angels, and they've left some guys on. They're continuing some bad trends from last year. Again, 4 letters. You could take away, if you want to keep it to the field and not worry about Rendon and Artie being the biggest problem, what is the next biggest problem between the chalk? It's a 4-letter word, and that is runners in scoring position. That has plagued the Angels for the last 3 to 4 to maybe even 5 seasons. Because they, as much as we bitch and moan about them not finding the right pitcher in the offseason as an ace, as a secondary pitcher, stuff like that, there still is a huge problem for us getting that magical hit, that sacrifice to score runs. Now, it's changed a little bit in the 9 games that we've seen with Ron Washington. But the entire time with Smoking Joe, the entire time with Numbnuts Nevin, it just seemed to be something on repeat, where we just can't get a hit in the key situations, and that would be that 4-letter word, runners in scoring position. So the Angels, if they're going to win games, and again, that's funny to say for some of you because you say, well, they lost 12-2, even if they got some more runs. But even if you get more runs, like say, for instance, this game wouldn't turn into 12-2. Let's just say the Angels knock in 2 or 3 in those first 4 innings. They're not going to go to Suarez that early. In a tie ball game, their whole dynamic changes. We're going to see different pitchers come in and try to hold this thing where it's at. Instead, you just see a freaking blowout and you're using the bottom of the barrel of your bullpen. So things have to change. They're going to have to either lose the aggression when getting guys on base and take more pitches and be more patient, because that's why I think you can't really narrow it down to being too aggressive or being more patient, because you still either way have to work through the scenarios because the games are different. So they're going to have to focus in on what is going on in that particular game, try to adjust on the fly. They're going to have to rely more on their coaching and the tablets. And they're doing more of the tablet stuff, but I think, they still need more talent. Let's just face it. We're going with guys who are basically having their first years in Shonowell and Moniak, really, and Neto. First season of their 3 careers that they're going to be playing every day. And Hoppy, make it 4. 4 of your 9. So 4 of your 9 in the starting lineup, this is basically going to be the first time, if they all stay healthy, that they're going to be able to play a full season. So in essence, you got 4 rookies in your starting lineup. So that means the veterans that you have to come through and stop playing shitty. You know, like Drury's got to change his approach. Ward has to shorten up his swing with runners in scoring position. Trout, the same damn thing. I'm tired of making excuses for him. He is definitely our guy. He's our GOAT. He's our favorite player, and he's Mr. Loyalty. I get all that. I love the guy. But you have a flaw in your system and your game right now. If you don't, we're not going to blame you for the injuries, but bro, when you're in there and you got runners in scoring positions, shorten up your swing, put the ball in play. Stop trying to be hero ball all the time. You were trying to play hero ball, and it nearly cost us last night. Although you made that nice catch, blah, 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 blah. Runners in scoring position, Trout, you got to be the leader by starting to knock these runs in. If you're not going to be vocal, do it with your bat and fire up the guys in other ways. So let's get into the awards tonight or this afternoon. I keep saying tonight. Let's get into the actual John Stamos Award. If it'll play. Hold on a second here. That was a botch. Right here, John Stamos Award.
The John Stamos Award for best looking guy, best looking player out there, as referred to you by Roger Lodge, goes to Tanner Houck.
Tanner Houck tonight, or this afternoon, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, 0 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Again, not impressive, not blowing you away, but when he was on for those couple innings, I believe it was the 4th through the 6th, he was just about unhittable. And he shut down the Angels, and that just changed the whole complexity of the game. The Red Sox were on another level once he got going. So let's get into the Nacho Knight Award. The Nacho Knight is for the Nacho Knight for the worst player on the field. Let's see who it goes to.
I love the nachos, gas station nachos. I love those nachos, yeah. Gas station nachos. Ow.
The Nacho Knight Award goes to Nolan Shanaway. Nolan Shanaway, known as ShamWow. The Angels' first baseman has been, it's been a rough week for him, knowing that he could have kept his streak alive. It actually would have ended today because of the bullshit that the MLB pulled the other day. Pissed off a lot of Angel fans, and rightfully so, including myself. But he gets the Nacho Knight Award because he went a combined 0 for 5 and 3 strikeouts. He had terrible at-bats up there, and he was fooled on many of those two-seam fastballs and sliders. He looked off-kilter today big time. He's batting 0.74 for a guy who's never batted below 500, it seems, in pro ball. But up until last year at the end of the season, he was still batting like, I think, 3-something. But dude is definitely on, hopefully not a sophomore slump. You can't afford to lose this dude. He's got to get it going, especially batting 2. There's a lot of pressure right there. He's in that Darren Erstad spot. So I would like to see Renifo in front of him, or even Shanaway leading off. And if that's not the case, move him down the lineup, dude. Bring up Adele, put him at 2. And then lead off Renifo. Something like that's got to change, because right now the concoction they got is not quite there yet, and they're struggling hitting wise. I do like the fact that they're taking more bases, they're stealing and stuff like that. That's good. That's good. It's a step in the right direction. I'm just hoping those hits will start falling when they get those guys on base, because right now that is really hurting this team. So the Angels take the loss. Your winner again, Tanner Houck, for John Stamos Award, and also the Nacho Knight Award goes to Nolan Shanaway. I hate giving the Nacho Award to an Angel, but just have to be real with it. So let's get into some of the comments here. There's a lot of them here on a Sunday afternoon. What a game, Blixie says. These guys have a lot of fight. On to the next one. Dan says, glad I went yesterday. Me too. Blixie says, hopefully Artie calls in so we can hear his plans for the rest of the season. Yeah, we'll see if he calls in. T. Shane says, once again, the Angels lose, but we win with the Todd Fox post-game podcast. Oh, I love that. Thank you. Chubb says, death, taxes, and the Angels not scoring with runners in scoring position. That is so true, and it's so sad at the same time. Jake Brunning says Trout needs to start swinging at the first pitches when they're right down the freaking middle, and Ward can't strike out with runners at second and third in the bottom of the third with nobody out. Yeah, that was a chance to get momentum back. If you're one of those myopic fans, and I'm not calling any of you guys out here in the comments, but we do have those that are on social media that don't believe in that thing called momentum. When I played baseball and I was in the minors and stuff like that, you best believe there's a thing called momentum. You can feel it. You start getting into it. I've been in a game where we were losing 7-0, hopeless after the 7th inning, and all it took was a couple singles, a walk. We got a single with the bases loaded to make it 7-2. And then they loaded him right back up. They changed pitchers. First pitch, the guy was aggressive, sort of like what they're talking about here with Jake saying, don't let one go right down the middle. They went to a left-hander. He threw one right down the middle, and just a get-me-over fastball because they had been having trouble in the zone. We rip one down the line. All of a sudden, it's 7-5. And then we shut them down in a real close 8th inning. They had the bases loaded. They were trying to put us, take the momentum right back. We shut them down. Bottom of the 8th inning, we score 3. And then the 9th inning, we get the save. We had all the momentum. They were done. They were cooked. 9th inning, they came out. They looked defeated before they even got in the batter's box, and they were only down 1 run. Momentum is a serious thing, and it really works. And the Angels could have gotten the momentum right back had they scored a run or two to just put more pressure on Boston, because then Boston starts to doubt themselves, like, hey, this isn't going to be an easy game like we thought. Anthony Rendon, Blixie says 107, Shonawell 0.95, Moniak 1.60, Odell 0.77, 4A player needs to play. Yes. Oh, I think he said, yeah, okay. But he does need to play. We need to see if he's not a 4A. This is a 50-win team, Blixie says. I think they win about 70, 73, maybe. He's calling at 50 at best. That's cool. Marty says that was such a poor effort today, extremely uncompetitive. They got the effort today. I agree. Jack says we're really 2-4 versus good teams. The Marlins have the Artie Jr. as an owner. They do. Marty Boylan says, let's see, Brandy Fury don't have a nickname of the sloth for nothing. Yeah, he's probably one of the most unemotional guys you'll ever see as well. Suarez is a bust. Canning is not good. Sandoval needs to turn it around. Detmers may win the Cy Young Award this year. Imagine him winning a Cy Young Award, Blixie, with your record of 50 wins. That would be insane. Sano is our best reliever. He sure is. Marty says Drury doesn't have the nickname slot for a reason. There you go. AC says put Adele on a milk carton. Yeah, he's been gone. That's for sure. Also, I'm not sure Artie will ring and ask, if since we didn't win today. Blixie also says, I hate when the Angels hold on to all that talent. Like, I wish they would get either go all in on a contender or a contending season, or go all in and rebuilding. These last few seasons would have been good to tank, to be bad to win. And that's what we've been saying. And, you're pretty much echoing what this page has been saying since its inception. Last 3 years, we've been wanting this team to just hit the reset button, start over, and let's do what Baltimore did. Let's do what some of these other teams, like I was just talking to Al online or over the phone up in Oregon, and he's been a longtime Angel fan, former minor leaguer. He's seen a lot of baseball, and he was telling me, you know what, we want to rebuild. If we would have rebuilt like Houston did back in the day before they came over into our division. They sucked for the last 2 years in the Central. They sucked for the first 2 years in the West. And all of a sudden, all those draft picks, all those players came through their organization, and lo and behold, 2 World Series and 3 appearances later, they're one of the best teams in baseball. Maybe not this year to start, but been very consistent. AC says Hicks cannot be taking at bats away from Adele. Well, he is, and that's the problem. Sega Sonic Knuckles says Brandon Belt and Trevor Bauer, we need you. If you're able to pull the trigger on both those guys, the immediate help it would bring this lineup and the pitching staff is insurmountable. But it won't happen because we have Farty as our owner. Since the MLB took away Shonawell's hit and changed it to an air, I think it's messing with his head. It could be. I want to see Adele at the DH for the next few weeks. I would go with that. Let's see. Agree. Rendon needs to go. Tony Two Bags and Artie are happy losers and are laughing. Also, and Roger Lodge. Bro, we got fucked in the ass so hard we got pushed in. That reminds me of Training Day, Demetrio, and I think that's where you got it from. Let's see. T. Shane says, do you know why the Angels did away with Bro Him by Pennywise after they hit a home run? It always got the crowd pumped up. Good one for your soundboard. You know what that is? That's not a bad idea. I like that one. There was another one. They used to play Blur a lot. Song number 2. I like that one when they would hit home runs as well. Let's see. Also, Silent E says we need Escobar back on a 2-year reliever deal, $20 million. His stuff looked great. Loved his 60-mile-per-hour fastball. That's all he was good for. You know, he reminded me of a very, very what was the player that used to play with the Angels as a shortstop? We got him from Montreal for a couple of years. He came over with Guerrero. He had a peanut head, and that's what Escobar last year reminded me of. I kept thinking peanut head. I'm trying to remember that dude. Maybe you guys in the comments can get me on that one, but he used to play with Montreal. We had him as a shortstop. We had like 3 Montreal players. It was Guerrero, Juan Rivera, and God, what was a little shortstop? It was like was it Orlando? No, not Orlando Cabrera. Or was it? I can't remember his name. Let's see. Blixie says maybe we should turn Rendon into a pitcher. Could be a setup guy, or just switch him to a left side. That pitching staff is an absolute dog shit, Eric Ward says. I agree. Also, Johnny B. Good says the Halos went back to swinging for the fences instead of getting timely hits. You look at the boss dumb, and they did what they were supposed to do, and just getting on base and making. Yeah, when you pressure the pitchers, good things happen. But when we go up there with runners in scoring position, the fans usually say this after we blow it. And after Suarez got called in, we were all like, yeah, we have no idea, dude. And we're no longer by winning.
But hey, check it out, though. Did you see that home run by Mike Trout?
Dun, dun, dun. That's all it was, man. Let's see. Also, Blixie says, what about the Hoffy hot dogs, everyone, as the Angels lose 41-4? By the way, let me ask you guys and gals this. How many stadiums have you gone to, whether it's Little League, whether it's your own league, like a men's adult league or whatever, softball league for men and women, or you've been to a baseball game, whether it's a professional minor league stadium? Give me your opinion. 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, on the Hoffy hot dog experience since it's been at Anaheim Stadium the last couple of years. Give me your opinion on that hot dog. I want to know what you think about the wieners, about Arnie's wieners, because I just seem to think, and there used to be one where he used to run, try to beat Darren Erstad in a foot race. They had that light thing where the kids were. Just to the right of that, where I think there is some sort of like food stand, a little small food stand, and a little bar right there, little drinks. There used to be these big old hot dogs, big old hot dogs and bratwurst, and those were really good premium hot dogs. And I remember being a kid, and they had good Angel dogs up in the concourse, actual regular hot dogs. It didn't taste like AM PM hot dogs. They tasted pretty good. The Hoffy hot dogs, since they've come over to Anaheim Stadium, in my opinion, I'm not trying to sway you, is like a -2. It's like chorro. I automatically know, okay, I've got about an inning or two, and then I've got to take a dump. And I'm just saying, I don't take dumps inside the Angel Stadium. The guy, when guys and little boys come into the men's room, they'll pee. They just and let their wang go on all like a sprinkler, and they spray it like they're trying to put a fire out. It's like, bro, if you're gonna take a leak in the toilet, the stalls, do that don't go in the stall, go in the goddamn urinal. But everyone's vein of their penis size So you'll see kids and adults go into the damn stall and just spray it like it's on fire. So ain't no way I want to wipe some other guy's urine, number one. I don't want to pull down my trousers and let them touch the urine that's on the floor, number two. And number three, that's just goddamn disgusting. So even though the point of that story is I eat a Hoffy hot dog, it's like Taco Bell to me, and it's like I got to go within a few innings. So I rather either leave the stadium or hold it to where my face is turning red, like I painted it like the Halo honk but red, and make my way to a public restroom anywhere outside of the stadium. I don't like public restrooms in general, but goddamn, the stadium ones are terrible. And it was even worse back in the day when they had the old-fashioned troughs in there. So, Hoffy hot dogs, I'm not a fan of. But I want to know how you rate the Hoffy hot dogs. Time for Suarez to hit the road, Jack. John Todd says, I agree. He needs to hear this. Justin Option says Shamwell is batting .460. In his dreams right now. Trout will set the record for 40 home runs and 50 RBIs. Well, you remember, AC, the most pathetic thing I've ever seen as an Angel fan. He had was it a couple years ago? He had 40 home runs and only 80 RBIs. That's pathetic. You're not hitting with runners in scoring position number one. And number two, the other second problem with that was there was no one getting in front of him because there was only one guy ahead of him. That's because Numbnuts Nevin and also Smoking Joe are batting him second. He's not a number two guy. So you need to get two guys in front of him that'll help him to get guys on base, and then he needs to start coming through with those hits. But don't worry, guys. There's a lot of baseball left to be played. Johnny Be Good says, Todd, one game I was lead off down by 7. I worked the count, got a walk. Pitcher was wild. I told them to just work the count. Next thing you know, we came back and won the game by 1 run. Well, this sounds just like my story. Same thing. So it is what it is, man. You could turn things around right away. Suarez, DFA Rendon, DFA Saninga, DFA Garcia, DFA Cisnero. Blixie says, let's bring up Amir Garrett so he can kick some ass. Yeah, that's one thing. We'll have our fighter for sure. John Todd 22 says, time to give Renifo and Joe some more playing time. Absolutely. Eric Ward says, seriously, how in the fuck can any major league franchise put the starting rotation together and actually win thinking that they will be consistent winners? Either Perry's stupid or Artie's wallet is frosty. It's a little bit of both, Eric, but remember that year we had Matt Harvey, a.k.a. Gotham Knight, and we also had, what was his name, Trevor Cahill. I mean, we had some terrible starters. I mean, dude, Trevor Cahill was our number 1 starter. I think Andrew Heaney was our number 2. I believe I'll sound a little Perry-ish, and I'll play my Halo honk a little bit. I believe this rotation is far better than that one, at least. That was the worst rotation I've ever seen. That was terrible. Will you shut up, Raj? We know you'll have a crush on him. Stop it. Definitely Savage Garden Day today. Oh, I think he wants to hear some Savage Garden. I have to pull that one up too. Actually, I might have that right here. We could pull that up in a minute. You know what? Let's just do that now real quick before I forget. We'll pull up some Savage Garden because, yeah. Beginning a reason for living. Sing it if you know it. For how long? You do? When? Okay, I'll hold you to that. But yeah, that's what it feels like today. It's a Savage Garden Day. Let's see. Also, now a word from Bandai Namco. T. Shane says the Angels definitely gave me emotional damage. Let me find that one right now because again, I have the soundboard going, so that's a plus. We ended the show terrible last night, so That was pretty embarrassing. I took a fat L for that one. Where is the emotional damage? See, I color coded these and everything, and then still I lost where that one went. Did that one actually get? See, hold on. We're playing circus music now. Man, I still can't find it. That's terrible. Yep. Well, I'll find it. Oh, there it is. Not late, right? Too soon. The wieners are shit. Come out of your ass the same way they go in. Eric Ward says those dogs are okay. 5 out of 6 out of 10. They're not as bad as 7-Eleven hot dogs, but that's not saying much. All right. Also, the name of the crime podcast that you host, T. Shane wants to know. It is Grinding True Crime. Grinding True Crime is the one we do. You can find that on podcast and on YouTube. So it's just like this one. If you don't want to see the visual, you can listen to the audio, which I prefer for the crime show, but we have audio on this one as well. See, I'm so glad I never had to take a dump at the stadium to this day, Efren says. See, also Johnny says if Prize Picks or the other apps had a betting category, if the Angels would give for the most runs Angels given up with 2 outs, I'd be a billionaire. Notice I didn't say millionaire. That's how bad it is. Yeah, the 2-out problem continues. T. Shane says, I wouldn't deuce in those stalls for any amount of money. Probably walk out with with an Artie STD. Oh, that's disgusting. Let's see. Blixie says, Angel dogs are good now that they switched back to wrapping them in foil compared to that weird paper foil that didn't hold the heat last season. Buns would always be hard because of that shit. You know what, Blixie? Maybe I have to give them another chance. If Eric's saying they're not as bad and you're kind of giving them some love, maybe I have to try them again. Laugh out loud, you have a Taco Bell issue too. I do. Taco Bell is like, I keep telling myself, you know what? I need to stay away from Taco Bell because it gives me the runs. And then I get But then the problem is I go right back. I'm like, man, those nachos look good. And then the cycle repeats itself. Blixie says maybe we'll get lucky and Rendon will assault another fan and we'll finally get void his contract. Balls, and Jared Walsh's resurrection. Yeah, that sucks, man, that he's starting to be a player again in major leagues and with a division rival. Jared Walsh. Yep. And also paper bags come by game 20. Yes, training day, laugh my ass off. That is still one of the most chilling scenes, Dimitro. When he does that and he's all like that, I'm all, oh, dude. Like he's like, oh, I got my shit pushed in. It's like, well, you must have enjoyed it. That's disgusting. Mike Trout breaks up the no-hitter here in the bottom of the 9th inning with a 5th solo shot of the year as the Angels trail the Rays 19-1. Sega says Strickland, Amir Garrett wants Rosenberg, by Zuniga, by Cisnero, by Suarez, by Luis Garcia. That's not bad. Strickland's not a bad pitcher. He's a veteran. Amir Garrett, kind of wild, but he's got good stuff. Can throw 100 miles per hour from the left side. Wants is not bad. Rosenberg, yeah, but why not? Let's see. Marty says Todd's Crime Podcast is absolutely fantastic. Give it a follow. I appreciate that, Marty. Sega also says, wasn't a spy taking pics of men at Angel Stadium? there was. T. Shane says the soundboard isn't working. I thought it was working right now because you are able to hear some of this stuff, right? Let's see. Also, Blixie says, I usually get 4 Angel hot dogs. I like them. Okay. Let's see. Helmet nachos, toilet review. The helmet nachos is not bad. The only thing I have is the servers. I have a problem with the servers. Sometimes you'll go and you pay $20 and you want the helmet nacho. I think it's 20 or 25, whatever it's up to now, because Artie can't seem to. It's like gas prices with Artie. It never goes down. It always goes up. So unlike his penis, apparently, what Sapphire said. Anyway, when you get those nachos, they do put a lot on them. At times, it depends on the server. If you get a lot and then they give you sour cream packets, you can kind of because I don't like having dry nachos. I like a lot of the toppings to fall down. So I actually tell them sometimes, hey, can you mix it in there? You know, like mix it in, pour a little extra sauce, and they look at me like I'm stupid. And no one ever wants to like do it except one lady. I got to do it like twice in a row because she was an older lady. And she kind of like felt my frustration because no one wants to be digging in the bottom of dry chips when you've eaten all the toppings on top. So I'm like, hey, can you mix that shit in? And she actually got it. All the others like, you don't do that. And or they're like, and I'm like, hey, can I get a little bit more meat? No, it's extra. It's like, bro, you already charged me $25, damn it. So yeah, I love the nachos and hate them at the same time. If you got to go to a stadium, do as they said in Cheech and Chong, bend and squat like the most. Sham Johnny. Next time, Marty says, next time you go to a game, but buy a hat of nachos, you can always dump in the hat after the hot dog. Dylan says these Halo honks on Facebook are just delusional, straight up. Boy, isn't that's correct in so many ways, Dylan. Let's see. Efren says, where is Joyce? Is he out? I think I saw him once during spring. Is his arm going to be an issue? I feel like it's going to get him hurt again. Maybe his herky-jerky delivery they're trying to work on right now, Efren. But I know right now he's in Rocket City. They're not going to put him in Salt Lake because it's more of a home run thing. In Rocket City, they're more Major League Baseball type stadiums. So they're giving him a look, and his arm's okay. Yeah, he pitched a little bit in the spring. He's pitched a lot here so far in the minors. So he's going to get his due playing time down there. But I think they'll be much better right now moving forward. T. Shane said the only one that's worked is Savage Garden. Really? So you guys never heard any of these other ones? That sucks, dude. I had it because I could hear it on my side. For whatever reason, it's not popping up still. So I'll have to check that. Maybe if I mean you're not hearing the fart sounds, are you guys sure? Because I was playing all that stuff. So nope, just Savage Garden. Damn it, that's disappointing. I thought I had this fixed before we started. So that means things are going to be even more effed up if I try to take a phone call. Let's see. Also, Joyce is guaranteed to get Tommy John surgery within the next 2 years with that velocity and motion. Yeah, he's got to change that motion, that velocity, or the motion. The motion is I think too herky-jerky for that arm. So yeah. Let's see. I missed out on some. I'm so sorry, but yeah, the team played terrible.
Yeah, well, that team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
Yep.
If you're a so-called Angel fan, if you're a Halo honk for life like me, then shut up.
Time for you to check out what
there
I
we go.
want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Because again, when Trout hit that home run. Is better when the sound works. Damn it, dude. I really thought I had the soundboard solved yesterday and everything else, but no. We're back to this bullshit. It's back to the drawing board. All right, so let's get into some more comments and then we'll try to maybe take a phone call. I don't know. And that's not the soundboard that I want to use, that I set up, that's all color coded and all organized. That's the one off of this program, and this program's like, I love StreamYard, but the overall, like, being able to get to the sound bites and the comments at the same time are hard as hell, dude. I just don't like the fact that I can't do, different things at the same time like I did last year. But if I go backwards into the old program, it's not worth it. Trust me. So I just need to figure out how to get this working. And it might just be I have to suck it up Buttercup and freaking play him off of this damn thing. We'll see. But for right now, I'm stuck with what I got. So it is what it is. And I apologize because this show, when it's on, it's on. But we love Savage Garden right there. Let's see. Also, Leaf says, considering Artie's from Arizona, the Halo nachos should be stale chips, cold cheese, pickles instead of jalapenos, because that sums up Moreno's ownership. And Leaf, you know what? Since he's from Arizona, it should be like, it's close to New Mexico. It should be like the Santa Fe style. So throw a little bit of corn in there, a little Tex-Mex. Let's see. Morales says, are they going to have another meeting? Because shit, they suck again. You know what? A team meeting right now would probably help.
Oh no, we suck again.
Also, if you're Halo honk like me, then shut up. It's working. Jim says, sure would like to hear the specific person who changed Shonawell's hit to an air. This MLB decided is a bunch of garbage. By the way, Jim Hoyt, a little bit of a standing ovation if you guys can, or a little golf clap for him, because again, he was honored today as being one of the Angels' best fans of all time. Because if you don't know who that big, stunning young man, retired sheriff, he's super tall, taller than me, but one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, sitting right in front of that Modelo stand in left field above the what is it called? The bullpen right there. He's been going to every game since the goddamn inception of Angel Stadium. And he's been a serious season ticket holder over the years, and he was honored today at Angel Stadium. And so we want to give you a fat applause right there because you earned it, buddy. Again, Jim is one of the nicest guys out there. If you guys give him a golf clap, he's and one of the coolest guys to talk baseball with. Knowledge runs deeper than anything that Roger Lodge can blow smoke up at you. Jim knows his baseball, can call it before it happens sometimes. He's got that gooby mentality, but one of the nicest guys, brings his grandsons out there, does a lot of charity work. Just a super cool guy. So hats off to you, Jim. Tip of the cap. You're the man. You deserve that appreciation today.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
There you go. So also, let's see, fuck Manfred and the MLB and the people in New York for the time clock and, of course, changing Shauna Wells on base streak. Yeah, that really sucked, Jim and Dylan. That really screwed that up. Jim says, same as Otani's pre-prepared statement. Johnny says, it's okay. I'm with the Mexican. I give you permission. Oh, funny story. Real quick. I have to say this, what happened last night. So I'm in full clown getup, right? And we're going down the concourse. I'm with my bro Paulo. He's got semi-clown stuff on. He's got the wig and everything. These three kids of the African persuasion come up to me and cool as hell. And they were like, hey, can we get a hug and a picture? Yeah. So we're like, all right, cool, man. So we take pictures with him. And one kid's like, oh, and they can't be more than my son, like 12 years old. Cool kids, right? And they, high fives, give me hugs, gave them some stickers and some thunder sticks. And they were like, oh, cool. You're the best and everything. I love clowns. So give them daps and whatnot. All right, guys, see you later. We turn around the corner on the concourse to go down the ramp, and they were going up. All of a sudden they come running down like something happened. They're all, hey, real quick. And they're all like, you guys get the N pass. And I'm like, huh? And it didn't register. You guys can say the N word. And I'm like, I go, no, man. I go, this is a trap. I go, I know you got love for me. I got love for you, respect, but I won't go there. And he goes, no, you got the end pass. I'm like, all right, guys, see you later. We walked down. That wouldn't have gone over good, but I thought that was some hilarious shit. Let's see. Also, Johnny Be Good. Sega says, win W soundboard, LOL. Marty says, agree with Jim that needs to be explained publicly. Blixie says, is it me or is OG's pizza like borderline undercooked? Not a fan of OG's. That is disgusting pizza too. I heard if you keep turning left though and then make a right, you'll wind up at an OG's at some point. Marty says Angels gave him a signed squid ball and a wiener to enjoy. AC says Jim has seen a lot of pain and suffering watching all those Angels blowpin sessions. He's unfortunately, he's seen a lot of good, but man, has he seen a lot of bad too. He's seen a lot of Buttercup games.
Why do you build me up, Buttercup, baby, just to let me down? Mess me around,
and then worst of all. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, look, he's seen a lot of this too. But when we saw Suarez today, it was this.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
And just like you guys have been calling for Cisneros and a bunch of other guys like Suarez to be DFA'd, we need Vince McMahon to stay away from human trafficking, sex trafficking, to just say this to those players as we give them their pink slips.
You're fired.
Yep. Let's see. Also, as a gift right there, Jim said they gave him a Fletch foul ball. That's pretty cool. Wish hockey fans would show up to Angel games. They would throw shit on the field. Also, Johnny says, I meant what does it says? I'm part Mexican. Stupid typo. Let's see. Also, holy cow, that was a trap. I can't imagine getting on Twitter and seeing Heedy host embroiled in controversy after racist tirade goes viral. Yeah, you imagine, dude? I would just canceled myself like Cox in the outfield, dude. And by the way, that guy he's got some connections still. The one with the mustache who said the stuff about Ohtani. That guy's still making a lot of TikToks, and half of the people that comment on his thing still call him out for it, but he seems to ignore those, and the other half doesn't know what's going on. And I saw him rubbing elbows with Artie Moreno, and is he kissing ass to try to be famous. That dude is really, really was it clout chasing, but for him to survive that whole thing is pretty impressive. I'll give him that, because I think I would have stuck my head in the sand and just called it a day, dude. But those guys on Cox are very they're still pushing for to be famous, so I'll give him that. Blixie says, caught Mike Trout's home run today. Moreno sent out his security team and threatened me to not authenticate the ball if I didn't hand it over to Angels Christmas in June blanket. That guy straight up pedo bet, Dylan says. He looks like one. T. Shane says, with the current players that we have, what would be your dream lineup if you were to manage for a day? Ooh. Let's see. If I had to take a shot at the lineup, I would say Louis leading off. I would say when Neto's right, I like Neto too. So I would go Louis 1, Neto 2, Drury 3, Trout 4, Ohapi 5, Ward 6, Moniak 7, and then you go 8. I guess you go 8 Rendon. You'd have to go Rendon, or you'd go 8 Adele, maybe. I don't know. You'd flip-flop one of those guys, and then you'd have number 9. I would have possibly Ohapi, but not Ohapi, Moniak. Not Moniak. I'm sorry, Shonawell. I have Shonawell hit 9 for right now. Flip him until put him at the bottom of the order until he can get hot, and then you put him back up, because I wouldn't want him to be batting 9 for a long time. But there you go. DH Tyler Anderson. Artie is a piece of refried bean shit. R. Martinez says Trout with another solo home run during a meaningless game. Exactly. Jim says Wednesday's midweek game of the day is Taco Wednesday. Stop by 260 for a taco. Yeah, Jim always hooks it up with food over there. So again, if you don't want to pay Artie, sometimes you can go by him, and Jim will insist that you get a bite from his little care package. He cooks his own little food up there and gets it going. He's really nice, like I said. Dylan says Neto is being a bust right now. Fuck! Yeah, he's swinging for the fences. Dude's got to just get to the basics. Neto's still rookie, basically. He's got big upside. He sure does, Eric. Also, I wonder if the MLBPA would allow us to run on an 8-man batting order so that we can exclude Rendon. Well, right now, I mean, if we can go back to having the pitcher hit, I think we'd get more production. Rendon, we're basically playing 9 on 8 and or maybe 9 on 8.5, because he gives you half-ass defense as well. Or at least we would want him to give us half-ass offense, but he can't even do that. Todd Nothing says frozen grocery store, genetic brand, gluten-free tasting pizza like OG's. In fact, Suarez OG's. Yeah, that is not good pizza. Neto needs to talk with Nolan, Dylan says. Also, Eric says, think about it. Our leadoff hitter through 9 games isn't even hitting his weight. That is true. Did you get things worked out with the Noble L Works? Yes, T. Shane. I talked with Josh the other day. Apparently, they had 2 or 3 new bartenders, and for whatever reason, they weren't up to speed on everything. So they didn't give discounts to like 10 or 11 of our fans that came in there. I was getting all kinds of messages. The first one came from Dan Rios that he was stiffed on beer, and then people came after the game and they were stiffed on beer because he did mention that I guess the beer specials were $5 afterwards, so the discount was already in. But they were mentioning Heedy afterwards, and they still weren't like saying, "Hey, we don't know what that is." Like, man, you got our name on the banners in there, so your bartender should put 2 and 2 together. So I guess not. Blixie says, "Wonder what Artie is up to right now." Well, if he calls in, I don't know if he's available today. It is a Sunday afternoon, and he's probably taking a swim in his Scrooge McDuck money. But yeah, we don't know what's going on with him. If he calls in, he calls in. If not, because I'm kind of scared to take phone calls, and I probably will hold off till Monday, unless he, because I want to make sure I got everything working. Because apparently, we got no sound from the soundboard, which is coming in from a different thing right here. So with that not working, that's gonna make it a problem. So I don't want to, mess it up with the phone calls. We'll probably get to the phone calls, like I said, on Monday. Hopefully, I have it worked out. Dylan says, yeah, I went yesterday before the game, didn't get a discount, so I didn't even buy a beer. See, that sucks. It's another one, Dylan. And that's what pissed me off. Like again, we gotta deal with you. You gotta honor it, dude. That's the whole point of us bringing fans over to your establishment. So yeah, that kind of pissed me off. But Josh is the general manager over there, and he told me he straightened things out. So give it another chance. If you guys go down anytime against Tampa Bay, just mention Halos in the infield or Todd Fox and say you're here for the podcast discount. You get 10% off of every pint. So it's not like just like, hey, 10% off an order of like 2 or 3 pints. No, it's 10% off of every pint. And you do get drink specials. They have certain pints where you can get 2 for $9, which is pretty cool just by mentioning Halos in the infield. We had no problems last year. But this year we're having problems. But again, the big discount to get, and I love it that they're doing this year too, is 714 tickets, dude. They're like, when you purchase tickets, you get that 10% off if you put HITI in the apply now code, or if you call them and tell them Halos in the infield, and then they automatically kick you back 5% off of it. So you get the 10% off of your total tickets, which I saved the other day, like $58. And then it gave me $13 back in my account when you register, so that you could use that $13 discount to freaking future tickets. So James needed a ticket yesterday. He's like, oh, just give me the cheapest ticket. So like the least you could spend there is $1. So I just used 9 of the $13 on a $10 ticket for James to get in yesterday. And bam, there you go. He got a ticket for $1. No service fee, no extra, nothing, just $1. So again, and that got you in this, what is it, Section 500. So that's the kind of deals you can get with our discounts. Let's see. Also, Jim says James will be there Wednesday in 260. We will be having no Google allowed baseball trivia session. Bring your best tacos and trivia. Yeah, dude, James and Jim know their stuff. Blixie's taking a bubble bath, probably playing and curling his hair as he's typing. Eric says, Todd, if we could win 90 games this year and get into the playoffs, but Squid had to play every day, would you buy that? Oh, that is such an asshole thing to ask me, because you know how much I love that guy.
You serious?
I would have to take it because it's been so long since we're not in the playoffs, and I don't want to, but
how dare you?
I'll take that. If it gets us in the postseason, I have to watch that dumbass celebrate or just be hit 100. I mean, we're basically watching a few squids in the lineup right now as it is. But I'd have to take it. Damn you, Eric. Marty says they ain't going to have a discount at this pub. It's okay. I'm going to use their bathroom to have a deuce after my Angels hot dog. Angels are drinking in the dugout. The Gatorade barrel is filled with rum and Coke. Let's see. Also, Dylan says, Blixie, I bet you're right. Eric says, I knew you'd love that loaded question. I know, jerk. You know, you've been listening to the show too long. You got me, man. Exactly. And by the way,
It was pretty cocky. I want balls and John Stamos.
Squid in my lineup. Squid can't even hit a 3A. Yeah, dude, Squid is terrible. In fact, I want to see if he has any stats this year. What was his name here? I gotta pull him up right now. Let's see what we got. Let's pull up Andrew Velasquez's stats right now, if he has any this year. Let's see. He has a career. Let's look at his numbers. He has a WAR of 1.2. I don't know where the hell they got that from. 566 career at bats, 107 hits, 12 total home runs, a career batting average of 189, 77 total runs, 40 RBIs. Somehow he has 40 stolen bases, on base percentage of 244. So let's look at his 2024 spring training with Atlanta. He played 15 games. He had 29 at bats, 6 hits, 2 doubles, 4 runs scored. He had a home run and an RBI, 2 stolen base, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts, a batting average of just 207. Man, he sucks. Let's see if he has anything in minor league right now. Oh, by the way, if you this guy, believe it or not, Andrew Velasquez, it says, sorry, this page is not available. He used to have 58,000 followers. He turned his page off. So let's see if he's on X still. Is he on X or did he? No, he's still on X. So if you want to find him, he's on X. He hasn't posted in quite a while. He has 16,000 followers. Make sure you give him love over there on X. when I mean love, I mean, talk shit to him. Tell him how much he sucks ass. I've got to find Andrew Velasquez's minor league numbers. I know they have them on here somewhere. Let's see here. I can't stand that guy. I couldn't stand him when he was here. Nothing. Let's see. 2024. So far, he's had 19 at bats and he's hitting 211 for AAA Gwinnett Stripers. So that's the Atlanta team. He has 19 at bats, 4 hits, a home run, 14 RBIs, but a robust 211. Again, minor league stats. You're supposed to have really good minor league stats to get to the majors. His overall batting average in all the years that he's had almost 3,000 at bats in the minors in his career. And 3,000 at bats, and he's only had 777 hits, a batting average of 267. If you give a guy who's a decent hitter, like a 4A guy, all those minor league at bats, they're going to have like a 330 because usually in AAA it's a lot easier to hit than AA. So you're almost major league ready by the time you're in AAA. Sometimes you're major league ready in AA, but it's more hitter friendly in AAA. And the fact that he can only hit 267 should tell you something. So you usually lower a guy's AAA average when he gets to the majors at least 30 to 40 points, unless they're like a prodigy. So Rendon is quickly becoming a new version of Squid. He sure is. Sounds like a hot career, Dylan says. Do you think they will ever bring back Squid and honor him in the first pitch? I wouldn't hold your breath on that one, Marty. 244 on base percentage. Looks like the Angels are going to trade Drury for him. I forgot Squid's real name until you mentioned it, Todd. Fletch Facts checks in with David Fletcher. Hey, Todd, how you been? Fuck Squid. Fletch checking in to say David Fletcher. He likes to say his own name. This guy has been a long time listener. Haven't heard him around lately, but been good, man. Been good. Instead of messing with this system all along, I've been good outside of that. But usually Fletch Facts comes by just to say his name, and then he's like, "He gone." That's it, and he gives us some emotional damage. Emotional damage at times, but hey, you're gonna be. Are you still rooting for Fletch? Is he, because I know that's your dude and all, but he's in freaking Atlanta now. Miss Fletch and Walsh. Yeah, I mean, I wish those guys would have, there's certain Angels that Dylan that you wish at times would just stay Angels, or they could have a good enough career to be an Angel for a long time. And it's always sucky to see homegrown guys leave, and you don't want them to flame out before they leave. You want to have their jerseys. You want to have, get their the promotions when you go to the Angel Stadium. It's just sad when some of these players don't come through like you thought they would. There's certain guys that you'd want for them to retire Angels, like one that still hurts me to this day. And me and James were just talking about James from the chair. We're talking about this the other day. I really miss Garrett Anderson. I wish he would have signed a one-day contract at least to retire an Angel. I wish he never went to the Dodgers or Atlanta. I would have loved for him to finish his career like Tim Salmon did. Another one's like Troy Gloss. I wish he would have stayed. A lot of these players that just retired with other teams just wasn't right. Fletch Facts says, always love Fletcher. He's free from Artie. That he is. That you can give him. I was thinking about watching Major League tonight, but today's game was already comic relief. They might sign Squid as honorary assistant 15 years from now. But yeah, Major League, it is very, very, very close to what the Angels are building here, which is sad. We just don't have a female owner like they did in that movie. And if you watch, there was a scene that another podcast put out, Angel Central, for their like a short reel. And it was a reel from Angels in the Outfield where Danny Glover is the manager of the Angels. And they were on Angel Central saying, hey, look, it's Ron Washington and the Cowboy, which they try to epitomize Gene Autry as the actor in there, with a cowboy hat. And Danny Glover's character, the manager for the Angels at the time, meets with the owner on the concourse and says, how am I supposed to win with these no talent guys? Like I can't make basically chicken soup out of chicken shit. And the owner was like, hey, not all the times are good times. You're just going through the rough times. You got to make the best of what you got. And their caption was, this seems to be a real, real conversation between Ron Washington and Artie. Because basically Danny Glover was like, hey, I need some help. I can't win with these guys. They suck. And the owner was like, well, you just got to deal with what you got. This is what you got. You got to get through the rough times. And this probably already told him that. Like Ron's like, hey, man, I appreciate the job opportunity and everything like that. And I know you're giving me a second chance, but, we need some more talent. And then Artie's like, we got unfinished business, and you got to do what you got to do. You got to win with who we got. And that's it. So I imagine that's how it went. I literally thought Walsh would be better than Pujols. He had a really good stretch right there, but then he fell off quick. He didn't adjust to the pitching, and he couldn't hit left-handed sliders. That's the other thing. Johnny says, would you rather have a World Series now or have Artie Moreno sell the team to a better owner and a brighter future and have them stay in Anaheim? Yeah, give me the new owner. If it takes 7 years to build something or to be a perennial winner, I'll take that. We've already waited almost a decade as it is. If you're telling me that we're going to have a new owner that's going to change everything, that's not just going to fix Tempe, that's going to take care of our minors, pay for scouts, pay for international players, draft good, commit to either a rebuild or a full, rebuild or a stocking up of the organization, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Smart owner that's relatable to the fans, that wants to be interactive with a community, I'm all for it. Give me that. If you're going to tell me I have to sell my soul for a World Series and keep Artie, the devil, nope. I'll take the weight. I will take the weight. The locker room needs Jabo. Yeah, he does. Or we do. The Boston team for sure is pretty mid and will come back to earth eventually. They will, Lakers fan. They will finish. I'm predicting them to finish last, and I don't believe in the Yankees in first place right now. Watch Toronto and Baltimore and Tampa get hot. The cream will rise to the top in the East. Heads up, everyone. Star Wars weekend is here soon. Saw Nevin at Great Clips giving Joe Madden a mohawk talking about how shitty this team is this year. The only thing Artie is committed to is happy hour. Great answer, Todd. Agree with Johnny's question. Exactly. So I think we got pretty much everything covered. Like I said, I'll try to take phone calls on Monday. Get out of here and have some dinner, everybody. It's about that time, 5:30. And we'll talk more on Monday. We'll talk about Tampa. Oh, before I do, real quick, if you guys don't mind, let me just jump in here to the projected starters for that series, and then also give you some scores before I get out of here. That's something I want to do on the regular on the show to be more update with everything. So for the Tampa series here, it will be Tyler Anderson opposing what is his name? Zach Eflin. Zach Eflin is a right-hander. This is year 10 of his career. Last year he went 16-8, had a really good season for them, 3.40 ERA, so that spells disaster for us. 2 games started this year. He's 1-1, 12 innings pitched. He's allowed 7 runs. However, he's got a 4 ERA, but does have 10 strikeouts. So he's off to a mediocre start. He'll be facing Tyler Anderson, who came off a really good start in his last start against Miami, but take it for what it is. He's got to come up here with a good start here at home. And then he'll be opposed by on Tuesday, Patrick Sandoval will be opposed by Tampa Bay starter Aaron Cavell, whatever. He's a right-hander as well. They're going to throw 3 righties at us. He came over from Cincinnati, or from Cleveland, I'm sorry, from Ohio in the trade last year. He combined with them last year, he went 7-5. This year, he's off to a 1-1 start. He's already had 2 starts, 12 innings pitched. He's allowed 2 runs in those 12 innings, and he has a 1.50 ERA. So he's been pretty good in his first couple starts here. So we got that guy going. And then for the finale, it'll be Griffin Canning, who freaking needs a good start after 2 mid starts, if you want to call them that, where he had just had 2 bad innings in both starts, put the Angels behind the 8 ball early. He's got to get off to a good start, and the Angels have to give him some offense early instead of rallying late. They're going to be opposed by Zach Little, who came over from the Giants last year, and the Red Sox split time with them, and Tampa. Actually, he was in all 3 organizations last year. This year, he's already started 2 games as well. He's 1-0 in 11 innings pitched. He's allowed 9 hits. He's got an ERA of 0.82 because he's only allowed 1 run. So we're facing 3 good pitchers here by Tampa. So that's not good. So hopefully the Angels can get, like I said, some runs early, put the pressure on, but don't hold your breath, and we'll just see what happens. So far in the games right now, bottom of the 6th, the Astros, who are 2-7, 0-2 on the road, are beating the Rangers in Texas, who are 6-2 in first place currently, 3-0 in the 6th. Earlier today, the Braves go to 6-2 as they beat the Diamondbacks 5-2. The Pirates, with a walk-off error by Rauchman, beat the Orioles 3-2. They were trailing going into the 9th inning 2-1, loaded the bases up, and then on a play that should have been a double play to end the game, Rauchman threw it away, and the Pirates win 3-2. They raised the Jolly Roger. They are 8-2, by the way. Good start for the Pirates. The Nationals win, beating the Phillies 3-2. Again, teams like the Phillies won't stay 4-6 all year, or 4-5, just like the Blue Jays today. They lose. They're 4-6. The Yankees are fool's gold right now. They win 8-3 over the Jays at home. The Reds lose to the Mets. The Mets have won 2 out of the last 3 games, or 4 games. 3 out of the last 4 games. They beat the Reds 3-1. The Athletics get their 3rd win of the season, beating Detroit 7-1. Detroit's off to a good start despite losing today's. They are 6-3. Chicago White Sox are terrible. They're 1-8 as the Royals beat them again and win 5-3 at home. The Mariners off to a slow start. They're 4-6. They get pounded by the Brewers 12-4. The Marlins win their first game of the season, avoiding the vaunted 0-10 start as they are 1-9. They get 13 hits and score 10 runs against the Cardinals. Cardinals are 5-5. The stupid-ass Dodgers lose to the Cubs 8-1. The Dodgers are 8-4. Cubs are 6-3. The Rockies lose again, this time at home to Tampa Bay 3-2 by the Rays. And the Giants and the Padres, who are 4-6 and 5-7 collectively, the Giants defeat the Padres 3-2. And of course, your Angels lose 12-2. And the Ohio Shitfucks are 7-2. That game was rained out to the Twins 3. They are 3-4. They'll have a makeup game sometime later this week. Predictions for the next series. Marty said, I'm going to go with the Angels losing 2 out of 3. Tampa Bay's got some really good pitching. I'm not liking our approach to the plate, and their pitching's way better than the freaking Red Sox. So I'm not feeling that game or that series, Marty. I wish I could say better, but I'm thinking they're going to lose 2 out of 3, and we're going to be not screaming this. We're gonna have a tough time, I think, against them. But we got to keep our composure.
Come on, all right, everybody. That's what I'm talking about, guys. We've made a great effort so far. Let's just keep it up.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've come too far. There's too much to lose. We've got to just keep our composure.
Yeah, and Eric says, don't worry about the loss today. Roger says the season starts tonight.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Excited to see Anderson tomorrow, at least, Blixie. I am too. I just, we can't get off to a bad start. We have to have a better start. We have to play better, score some runs, not only just get pressure on the opposing pitcher and run up that pitch account. We have to get some runs in. We can't allow second and third with 1 out and not be able to drive in at least 1. And then we need a shutdown inning. If you can do that, get a shutdown inning after scoring a run, you keep the momentum, keep the pressure on, and you could build on the lead and give our pitcher confidence to move forward. But also, our pitchers can't be serving up 3 home runs in 1 inning, even if they are solo home runs. So a lot needs to be done, a lot needs to be worked on, and I think it will at some point. So hopefully that happens. But for right now, the Angels take 1 on the chin, lose 12-2. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel after the game as the Angels. Will be in the evening time, but it'll be right after the game. And we'll catch up with you guys and gals later. I hope you all have a good rest of your weekend. Go Angels. And again, we'll see you on the flip side.